week 4 of the Wamego Public Library Young Adult Summer Reading Program. This week the theme is fairy tales, which means that we will be making gnomes. Look how cute this guy is. So in your bag today, you should have a half circle of cardboard. You should have some fur, nice and soft. You should have a half piece of white felt. You should also have some string. Some of you guys might have blue, red, black, purple. I have a purple one. If you have extra, that's awesome. So in your bag, you guys should also have a little wooden bead, which is going to be the nose for the gnome. So you also need, what I found handy is some glue, some scissors, and then also a stapler. Okay? So let me get this all put together and I'll be right back so we can start our gnomes. Hey everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our gnomes. Go ahead and take your half piece of cardboard, half circle, and what you're going to do is you're going to make it into a cone, like an upside down cone. Now, all I did was bring the two pointed edges together, and I'm just going to keep rolling them until I get the size of the cone that I would like. Now you guys can do different sizes. You could do a fat one or you can do a super skinny one, whatever you'd like. But basically you're just going to end up making a cone like this. And then you're just going to take your stapler, okay, and on the seam right here, you're just going to put a staple there so it stays together, and then I kind of do one up higher. See how I did that? So on the seam, I put a staple there and I put a staple there. So now, oops, now I have my cone, okay? So it's going to sit just like that. All right, so now that you have your cone done, okay, we're going to do the beard. And if you move the fur all in one direction, you'll see that it all falls. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start here on the back. And I want you guys to draw a triangle, okay? 2 lines all the way down, so it's going to make a triangle. And then you're going to cut that out. Now, be careful when you cut this out that you're doing it over a trash can because some of the fur is going to come off, all right? I'm going to cut mine and I will be right back. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut my fur into my triangle. So there's my triangle, okay? Now you can go ahead and trim a little bit if you want. Mine's kind of uneven, but that's okay. And see how I said the fur was going to come out? It does, unfortunately. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start by making sure the seam is on the outside where we put those staples, and we're just going to wrap all the way around. Now it can go as high as you want or as low as you want. It can, you know, like I said, you're going to be able to trim it later, and everything else kind of does stick out. So the point is just to get the beard on. And I am just going to hold it there at the back, okay? My 2 ends sort of overlap, and they don't have to. Sometimes they might be far apart, and that's okay. But I'm just going to go ahead and staple those in to place. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is just the back, okay? So just get those put in and in place. There. So now my beard is on my cardboard thing. And I'll probably do a little trimming here. It's kind of short on this side and long on the other, but that's okay. All right. And now we're going to take that half piece of felt that I gave you, and you're going to do the flat part down. So what you're doing is you're making the hat. Do you see that? So we're going to take the straight edge and we're going to go down onto the gnome. And now you're just going to wrap to make a hat. Now don't make it super tight because we have to get that nose under there. Okay? Just kind of loose. doesn't have to be perfect. You can always make it perfect, but you don't have to. Because what you're going to want to do is, if you don't want it too tight, is because we're going to have to get that little bead under there, under here for the nose, okay? All right, now that hat is stapled into place. I still have a little playroom here for that nose. And I'm just going to tuck that excess back here in. It's okay if it's open because we're just going to trim it. All right. So now let's get that nose on our little guy. So if you want, you can always pull up on the hat. Okay. And like I said, you can always trim, so don't worry. You can tuck also if you want to get that nice pointed hat, like so. This is your creation, so you guys can do whatever you'd like. All right? And now this is where the glue and the bead are going to come in. So now they're going to sit, he's going to sit just like that. Fluff out his hat a little bit. There we go. And let's get that bead, that little wooden bead I told you. Now, you do notice that there are 2 holes in your bead, okay? Now you can use it as the part of the nose, or you can turn it to the side so it doesn't look like it have any holes. But the hole for the nose looks kind of cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to put it on the bead. And I'm going to find where I want the center of his head to be based on the hat and the fur. And I'm just going to stick that bead right under the lip of that hat so it sticks in there. I have to hold it in place for a little bit because basically I want that hat to come right over his nose. Like so. Okay? Now, like I said, basically your gnome is done right now. But you can always go ahead and trim it. Maybe you don't want his beard so long. Maybe you want him to have a short beard. Maybe you don't want him to have like a furry beard. Maybe you'd like him to have a very clean cut beard. Of which then, we're just going to go ahead and cut some of that fur off. Make him look a little groomed maybe. Groomed on the sides with a long beard in the bottom. See? And there is your gnome. Super simple, super easy. You can do this with more stuff. Now what I said was you can always go ahead and trim if you want, but I'm just going to trim the bottom here, my little excess, so that it sits flat when I put him on the desk. And now to show you, let's see, let me find something flat really quickly. So I have something flat. I'm just going to put my little guy right there. And there you go. There's your gnome for this week's fairy tale theme. Now, you guys might have some extra fabric laying around the house, or maybe some toilet paper rolls that you can also use for the cardboard. Okay, I think I gave you a lot of extra fur, so you can always do that. And you don't even have to use fur. You can use yarn for the beard. You can use a rock for the nose if you find one outside. Now, the last thing to do is with the string. So, I like them kind of plain, but you can always, and I'm going to turn this guy around here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to, give him a little something on his hat. All right? So, I want you guys to use your imagination and your creativity and decorate that hat if you'd like. Maybe he wants a tie beard, so maybe you're going to put a bow in his beard, whichever you'd like. All right, so that was our activity. Very quick, very simple. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will be right back for our weekly challenge and any updates. Hey everyone. So, this is one of the gnomes that I made earlier. So you see how much taller he looks with his short hat and his long thin beard. And then this is the gnome that I just made with you guys. He's a little on the hefty side, but that's okay. And his nose is sticking out a little more, and he has a longer hat. So anyways, you guys can do different variations if you'd like. I just wanted to show you those. The other thing, though, is for this week's challenge, I would like to see you guys make your gnomes and then possibly make a backdrop of where you think they live. So maybe they live in a forest, or maybe they live near caves, or maybe they are, I don't know, maybe under your house, or just make a little backdrop. Trees and foliage and maybe some big mushrooms, or you know, maybe there's some wildlife in the background. Anyways, I would like to see your picture in the back with your gnome, and take a photo of it and post it under the comments of this video. Do I have any updates? Yes, I do have updates. We will be starting regular hours on July 6th, so the 10 to 7, Monday through Thursday, the 10 to 5 on Friday, and then we'll also be open for those hours on Saturday as well. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, so if you go into the YA room right now, I do have a new display for this fantasy theme. If you love some of the twisted tales, there are 2 audiobooks that Miss Kelly had purchased for us, and they are sitting back there. I think one is a twisted tale of Beauty and the Beast, and the other one might be Sleeping Beauty, I think. And then there's also 2 movies and a book recommendation as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's activity for this fantasy theme of summer reading program. Don't forget to log your minutes read on the Reader Zone app, and I will see you guys next week. Make good choices and have a great week.